Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. Those of you with nervous dispositions will do well to protect yourself before listening to this episode. Lock your windows, bolt your doors. Say your prayers, for tonight, the dead may be walking abroad. Honestly, who comes up with this stuff? And now on with the show.
Sound of the cuckoo, you know that it's time for the Clockwork Cabaret. Ooh, spooky time. This is our pre-Halloween episode. And
I don't know what that didn't sound like a Halloween noise.
No, I'm not even gonna ask what that was.
She is Emmett Davenport.
And she is Lady Attercop.
Halloween names. Oh,
I'm terrible at Halloween names.
She is Casket Davenport. And I am Lady Attercorpse. Oh.
There we go. It's spooky. Turn your dial to spooky and join us for this spooktastic Clockwork Cabaret.
We would say we dressed for the occasion, but this is how we always dress.
Yeah. We're both in black and wishing we had candy.
I actually do have candy. I have a 3-pound bag of Tootsie Rolls that I am currently working my way through.
And you won't share because we are remotely recording.
We're still remote because the world is scarier than anything from Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not going to get any trick-or-treaters. We have a doomed driveway. There's no light down here. And they don't trust us during daylight hours, them being my neighbors. So they're definitely not sending their kids into the darkness down the way to get.
And it's COVID time, and you don't want their grubby little fingers
from the neighborhood queers.
Right. Also, you don't want candy. You don't want their grubby little hands touching your candy.
I don't want them knocking on my door, so I bought that 3-pound bag of Tootsie Rolls for me and myself.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Ducky cannot have them because Tootsie Rolls contain milk.
Haha.
So yeah, that was a me gift.
Fair enough.
I will be enjoying that probably until next Halloween. Because you know how it is towards the end, you got like the Tootsie Pops left.
Oh, it's all the terrible ones.
Well, it's not about, like, I enjoy Tootsie Rolls. And I like the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls. I actually buy the giant bag every year because I want the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Really?
Yeah, understanding that I can buy a whole bag of just the fruit flavored ones. The internet exists. It's a thing I can do.
Yeah, but some candy you only want at Halloween.
Yeah, and so I'll eat the Tootsie Rolls. I'll eat the dots. I like dots.
It's like candy corn.
Yeah, I will just never eat the Tootsie Pops.
You can give those to me.
I'll give you all the Tootsie Pops.
I like Tootsie Pops.
All right, well, be prepared to be deluged.
That's fine. I will eat those.
What's your favorite awful Halloween candy?
Smarties.
Oh! So, I'm sorry, listener. I'm sorry to any of our listeners that also enjoy Smarties. Just, what?
I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
You just like sweet chalk?
Yes. There's something about them. I don't know. I don't know. Look, as a small child, I was poisoned because somebody...
Because you liked Smarties, someone tried to take you out?
Yes, someone fed me a whole entire bottle of children's chewable Tylenol, to which I thought were Smarties because I liked them so much.
Wait, so hold on. We gotta backtrack.
You gotta back. Oh, you gotta throw this out. Okay. What
No, you brought it up.
you have questions.
I have
Okay.
questions.
All right.
I have several questions.
Okay. Feel free.
Were
Throw
were
them
the
at me.
Smarties now did the child was this an adult?
No,
or
it was
child?
it was another child.
Okay. That's
Slightly.
question number one. I'm like, did
It was
creepy
another
Mr.
child.
Wilkinson
It was a
next door
yeah. No,
try
it was
to do a murder? Maybe
it was another child who is 2 years older than me. She probably was a serial killer.
I was gonna say, so not a current serial killer, but a potential future
A
serial
potential
killer.
future. Yes. Many things looking back on my friendship with her made me think she may have committed some murders as she grew up. I don't Also, funny enough, her name was Nicole. I can't
Not real true identity.
I can't remember her last name, but
It certainly wasn't Attercop.
no, it wasn't.
Looks shiftily around.
I'm pretty sure. She was
Was she a freckly ginger bastard?
she was not a ginger. No, she was blonde.
Then it was not me.
No, that's how I know that it was not you.
Yeah, it certainly isn't makeup. It certainly hasn't been a long con to finish the one murder. I never accomplished.
Oh, that could be. It could be. But she she fed me an entire bottle of orange flavored children's chewable Tylenol, telling me it was candy. I assumed they were Smarties because
I would posit that children's chewable aspirin tastes better than Smarties.
Oh.
That would have been your first clue.
Well, see, having been raised by a weirdo hippie mom who didn't let me have processed sugar.
You didn't care?
No, I didn't care, and also I didn't have a lot to compare it to.
Okay.
And I only had Smarties.
Did you ever find out why she fed you a bottle of aspirin?
Because we were playing make believe. We were playing a game.
Playing make believe. She was playing murder.
Yes, we were playing doctor or something. I don't know, and she tried to murder me. That's all I know. My mom had to call poison control, and I had to drink a whole lot of milk.
Oh.
Which is one of the reasons why I really, really hate milk. Also, I am lactose intolerant, which
I don't think that's responsible, but we can blame it on that, sure.
No, it's probably not, but being lactose intolerant and having to drink a whole bunch of milk may not have been a good combination.
Oh, you were lactose intolerant as a kid too?
No, I wasn't. But I like to assume that that particular thing may have caused me to be, because apparently they don't want you to take anything to expectorate. They don't want it out of your system from the mouth. Orally. They want you to drink milk so that it will pass naturally, and the milk is there to coat your stomach lining. I don't know. It was terrible. I drank an obscene amount of milk in a short period of time. I hated it. It was gross. I also felt really terrible before that, and I felt real terrible after.
Oh,
and after
someone tried to murder baby Emmett.
Yeah. She wasn't allowed to come over for quite some time.
Yeah, no, I think if some random kid tried to murder my child, would be canceled.
She then, because she is probably a serial killer, she then tried to make amends by dressing up in a questionably weird Miss Piggy costume that she made herself for my birthday, to try and be a costume character to get invited to my birthday party later that same year.
So you didn't invite her?
No.
So she I wanted to. In a homemade Miss Piggy
I wanted
costume.
to, because I didn't see what was, because apparently I'm an idiot as a child and trusting, and being poisoned once doesn't apparently
Just didn't sway you.
Didn't
I am
sway
just
me.
imagining some like full-on Ed Gein like.
Oh, this was more. It was more paper plate. It was more of paper plate. Pig mask. You know, like very very home ec. Paper cup for the snout, paper plate for the face.
Mm-hmm.
Thing, but
Cold,
she did
dead eyes.
Yes, but she did dress up as like a terrible, horrible Miss Piggy because she knew I liked Muppets and tried to get herself invited to my birthday party.
Well, I know what my Halloween costume's going to be this year.
Oh my god,
terrifying Miss Piggy.
Yeah, I'm sure yours will be better.
Miss Piggy.
I actually, for a long time, I had a photograph of it because of her being in the terrifying Miss Piggy costume, but I think it got destroyed during a purge. No.
Honestly, it's probably for the best. That photograph was probably cursed.
Yeah, probably.
When she died and came back from hell to finish her revenge on Earth, she definitely would have started new.
Yeah.
That is how the horror movie starts.
Yes. Yeah, so so there's the start of a good Halloween horror story. Yeah. I mean, my birthday is in September, so not really Halloween based, but it was terrifying. And there you go.
You guys needed NaNoWriMo's coming up. There you go.
Yeah. Do you want some plot interest for your NaNoWriMo? There you go.
There you go.
I've often thought about writing a memoir, but I really honestly think no one would believe it was real.
Yeah.
And that story about my friend trying to murder me is one of them. So there. It's shit.
I mean, I grew up in Florida with all of the poisonous everything, America's Australia, as some have called it, and I still don't have as many near-death experiences as you. So,
oh yeah, my sister once pushed me in a pool and almost murdered me. So yeah, that was another time.
Provide anesthesia for an emergency surgery.
Yeah. Well, see, you weren't homeschooled and you didn't live with weirdo hippie people. So there you go.
No, I just lived with weirdo Irish people. I lived with a big Gaelic gaggle of.
Right. So you had like normal run of the mill trauma. Well, I mean, you lived in Florida, but
yeah, again, did grow up in Florida, so I don't know how run of the mill it would be.
No, it's not a contest. Let's be fair, because let's make
it a contest. Let's do our best Halloween. We've both lived a lot of life in our time.
Yeah, we have.
And so let's do our best Halloween story.
Okay.
Will it be the time I almost got attacked by dogs? Will it be the time I got stuck in a big wheel that smelled like BO? Who knows what it might be?
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to press a button, and then when we come back, we will share our terrible Halloween stories.
Like any red-blooded gentleman of leisure, you enjoy the civilized entertainment of watching animals fight. Why wouldn't you? However, until now, you were limited to the common chicken and the boring bear. Never fear, sports fans. The Creature Combat Arena will blow your mind with a dazzling array of unique fauna free-for-alls. Join us Monday for Crossed Zebras. Tuesday, Narwhal Face Fighting. Wednesday, New England Clam Pounder. Thursday, Boomslang, Boomerang, Bombardier, Balderdash. And Friday, the Sleepy Panda Slap Fight. The Creature Combat Arena. We are truly terrible people.
All right, Lady Attercop, tell me your most scary Halloween story.
All right, so as our longtime listeners know, I went to college in. I think we've mentioned it before. I went to college in St. Augustine, Florida, which is one of the oldest continually habited cities in the United States. I think they're fighting with someplace else. I don't remember if it's Charlotte. They're fighting with someplace about which city is technically older, uh, and has never been abandoned, but suffice to say, it's an old city. It's a very atmospheric city. It was founded by Native Americans thousands of years before white people ever got there. But then the Spanish showed up, and as the Spanish do, fucked all the shit up. It was founded by the quote unquote founded by conquistadors back in the day, back when conquistadors were a thing. And as we all know, conquistadors are
Terrible.
yeah. There you go, giant dicks. um, it's also it's supposed to be a very haunted city. I think it's like fourth or fifth most haunted city in the United States by
Some scale.
I don't know how you measure that.
What's the first?
Yeah, what's the like? I think New Orleans,
Really?
maybe, or maybe Salem. I don't know.
Okay.
Not coincidentally, they're all tourist cities.
Yeah, I think they just use those as tourist traps.
Yeah, but it is a very old city. It's got a very bloody history. It's got a fort. It's got a conquistador fort, the Castillo de San Marcos, that's made out of coquina, and you can actually go and visit it. And there's like giant cannonball holes in the side of the fort from like several wars. Yeah, and the Native American tribe that was in that area at the time was the Seminole. And if you are familiar with your Native American history,
Which
the
most
Seminole
people
is
aren't.
the one tribe in America and I don't know how true this is, but this is the story, that never technically surrendered to the United States. They were badass, basically. They were not, yeah, they were not cool with the Spanish being there, and they made their displeasure known. So when the Spanish founded St. Augustine, it was a walled city, meaning that there were city gates and there was a big wall around the white people part of the city. And at sundown, those gates closed, and you had to be on the right side of them. This is all the backstory
Mm-hmm.
that kind of goes into this tale. So that's a kind of a quick rundown on St. Augustine, Florida. Visit it during your next non-pandemic trip. Don't go now. It's a pandemic. Stay home.
Please, for God's
Please.
sake, please stay home.
So it's a very old historic city. It's very atmospheric. There's a lot of Spanish moss dripping over giant oak trees that are hundreds of years old.
Don't touch
Ponce
the
de
moss.
Leon. Remember that guy?
Yes.
He thought the Fountain of
made-
Youth was around there.
He made some mustard. No, I don't know. What did he do?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
no,
Spanish
that's-
explorer. That was
that's
looking for the
Dijon.
Fountain of Youth.
That's Dijon mustard. Never mind.
That's Dijon. Ponce de Leon. You confused me with it. He made some mustard. I don't remember that part of his biography, but
Ponce Dijon. He made
Ponce Dijon was his cousin.
Ponce
He
Dijon.
was
That's the
looking for the fountain of mustard, and he found it.
Oh, all right. There you
Uh,
go. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Basically, what I'm trying to get at is this is a very old, very creepy city, right? There are cemeteries that are hundreds of years old that have hundreds of bodies in them. There's Spanish moss, there's historic sites, there were battles that there was a one of the civil wars, the Castillo was at one point a Spanish fort, at one point it was taken by the British, at one point it was taken by the Confederates. Like there's been a lot of bloodshed in the area, basically. And so one of my favorite stories about St. Augustine is the story that I'm about to tell you about headless things. I know that you're from the New England area. I know you love some headless stuff.
I do. I love headless things.
All right.
I love
This
some
was
pumpkin heads. No, just kidding.
story told by me, by my cousin's brother's roommate. No,
Yeah.
one of my when I went to school in St. Augustine, I was an art student. No surprise there. And one of my art teachers was a historical reenactor and also gave ghost tours. And so she had great ghost stories about the old town. And one of the stories that she liked to tell, there are it's a couple of unrelated things that we're going to kind of weave together in this narrative. Um,
Ooh,
so the spooky
spooky!
season.
Come with me now on this journey into the spooky.
Because she was part of the local reenactment group, and that she gave tours around town, she could get access to parts of the city that were normally closed to the public.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so which was awesome. And one of the things that she would every year, she would take her students to sketch live in person in the Huguenot Cemetery in St. Augustine. The Huguenot Cemetery was not just the cemetery for Huguenots. It was the cemetery for everyone that the Catholic conquistadors deemed unworthy. So basically, it was like the garbage cemetery. And it was located, very importantly, outside of those city gates that we talked about before that kept out the
nice.
Seminole. It was unconsecrated ground, so it was not a blessed cemetery, for those of you who are familiar with kind of Catholic Christian
So terrible.
tradition.
So terrible.
Right, so like unconsecrated ground outside of the city gates, kind of
Unprotected.
the garbage cemetery.
Ripe
Not
for
garbage,
demons.
but like the undesirable cemetery.
Right.
It is also actually in a bit of just supreme assholery. The Spanish had built the Huguenot cemetery on top of a Native American burial ground.
Of course.
Because why not? Yeah, just be extra dickish. Just get as much dickishness in there as you can. And the cemetery there were a couple of hundred marked graves, but there were an estimated like 2 to 3 times as many bodies buried in the ground. So even if there wasn't a grave marker, if any place that you were walking, you're probably walking on someone's remains.
Oh.
It is closed to the public.
That's good.
But not to my teacher, and not to her art students.
Oh.
And this story takes place about I actually went on one of these sketching journeys
get to
the
the
Huguenot
story.
Cemetery. Nothing happened while I was there.
Okay,
But she
ADD lady.
What?
I said ADD lady. Let's get to the story.
All right, yeah. So one of her classes that she was taking to this Huguenot Cemetery, while they were there, one of the things she liked to do while her students were sketching was that she would also walk around and make her own sketches. And as she was kind of walking around the cemetery, she noticed by the gates there was a headless bird.
Gross.
Yeah, and it was decapitated, but it was, she said in her words, a very clean decapitation. No blood, no gore. It didn't look like a cat had gotten to it and just kind of, I guess, eaten the head and strolled. And it was a fresh enough corpse that rigor mortis hadn't set in. So she was able to pick it up. And what she did was she picked it up and she put it in the art box of one of her students. An art box, for those who are unfamiliar, is usually like, it's some kind of tackle box or something where when you're drawing outside, you just throw all your
pencils,
your utensils,
yeah,
your stuff that you're going to draw with. Student thought it was hilarious. Proceeded to incorporate the headless bird into every art project that he turned in from then until the end of the year.
Oh, that's nice.
So no one was traumatized by this. Everyone had a good laugh at the headless bird in the art box.
Yeah, well,
and
like you do.
The students left, and then she kind of made the rounds of the cemetery to make sure that nobody had left any garbage behind, just kind of make sure everything was okay, because it was a historical site. She was a historical reenactor, and she wanted to make sure everything looked great. And then she said, as she was making the rounds around the cemetery, she found a headless rat and a headless squirrel in the grounds, all in the same condition. Clearly decapitated, no blood, no gore. The body's fresh enough that rigor mortis had not yet set in.
Oh, decent.
And what you have to understand about this cemetery that is closed to the public is that it is surrounded by a very large chain link fence, and there is barbed wire on the top of it. It's not impossible to scale, but it would be difficult. That's not where the story ends.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. This same student, several weeks later, after that hilarious prank of a dead bird in their art box, came into class one day, pale, was late for class, and it was a studio class, so it was about 4 hours long. Came in probably 2 hours into the 4-hour class, looking pale and shaken and just not well. Quietly sat down in the back, did their work, didn't say anything the whole time. When the class let out, she kind of went over to him and to check in on him, because she could tell he was very clearly distraught. Went over to him and said, "Hey, are you okay? Is everything all right?" She's like, like you would do. And he said, "No, I'm not okay, but you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you." And she's like, I want you to feel like this is a safe space, that you can tell me anything. He's like, "I can't, you're not going to believe what I don't know. No, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you." And she said, "Okay, but clearly something is bothering you. Clearly you need to talk about it. So just tell me what happened, and just get it off your chest, and just move on." This student happened to live in an apartment that was across the street from the Huguenot Cemetery. There's like a row of businesses, and back when this student lived in St. Augustine, there were apartments above the businesses, and he rented one of them. And he said that he was asleep in his bed at night, and in the middle of the night he was awoken because he couldn't breathe. And he couldn't move. And he's trying to gasp for breath, can't, he feels pressure and pressure and pressure on his chest, and then suddenly it lets up. And when it lets up, he gasps and sits up. And at the foot of his bed is a shadowy figure. The shadowy figure is missing a head. Bum, bum, bum.
Do, do, do.
But that's also not the end of the story.
Oh.
There's a third part. And the third part is this. Oh no, he lived across the street from the Catholic cemetery, not the Huguenot cemetery. That's important.
You just ruined it.
I just ruined it, yeah. No, because the third part of the story is Spanish conquistador Catholic belief system.
Yes.
According to the Spaniards that were from Spain, that were not born in America, if you died in America, your body could not be buried in anything other than Spanish soil, or else your soul would wander. Now, of course, this is like the 1600s, the 1700s. If you die in Florida, there is no way they are getting your dead ass back to Spain. You gotta be put in the ground. It's already hot. You're already starting to stink. So the solution to this problem was that they would bury anyone who was born in Spanish soil in above ground tombs. So if you go to the Catholic cemetery in St. Augustine, Florida, you will see above ground tombs. Mausoleums. Yeah, but they're not mausoleums because it's not a building. It's an actual little
Yeah, no, it's a little tomb thing. Yeah.
A one-person tomb.
Yeah.
And you will notice that in the Spanish cemetery in St. Augustine, Florida, and that's what that is. The people in those little above ground tombs are people who were born in Spain and therefore cannot be buried in anything other than Spanish soil. Their souls just can't take it. Their souls know what soil they're in, Emmett. They know.
They know.
The second part to this folk tradition, I guess it's a folk tradition,
Yeah.
of Spanish conquistadors was that your body had to be buried intact. Like you had to have all your bits
Right.
in order to have a restful burial. And the Spaniards were real aggressive with the Native Americans. We'll say real aggressive. They were just
Awful.
awful. And part of the reason there was a wall and city gates around St. Augustine was because at sunset they locked that gate. And if you were on the wrong side of it, you were almost guaranteed to be murdered outside of the city gates. And there were two conquistadors who one night at sunset found themselves on the wrong side of the city gates. The next morning, their bodies were discovered piled, like just dumped right in front of the gates.
So,
But
was your friend being haunted by these headless conquistadors?
yep, you guessed it. Their heads were missing.
Ah!
Right, and they found all of them, but they never found the heads.
Of course.
And so they had to be buried in above ground tombs without their heads. And you know what's right next to those city gates, Emmett?
Alligator pits?
The very place that our intrepid art student from before
the Huguenot
found a headless
cemetery.
bird in his art box.
Oh. Who was going around decapitating animals?
I don't know. Like, yeah, if you don't believe it, like, this is a very spooky story if you believe in ghosts, because there was a headless ghost!
There's a headless ghost going around chopping off heads!
But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's like, there was a psycho chucking decapitated
animals
and birds into the cemetery.
Just to fuck with people.
And then an art teacher that thought a good prank was to take said bird and drop it into the art box.
Well, to be fair, wouldn't you also do that if you came across a decapitated bird and you had a little shit for a art student? You might also want to put it in the art box.
I would only do it to a friend.
Really? Only
or
to
I
a
keep
friend.
It myself.
Only to a friend.
Well, a headless bird that's
Oh, is that an Attercop sign of friendship? I didn't realize.
You don't give a headless bird to anybody, Emmett.
I've never been given a headless bird.
Well, I mean, it is a curse. Apparently it's a curse because then, like, a conquistador ghost visited him in his room at night.
I have had a turkey given to me, but other than that, it's the only headless bird. I then cooked it and made it for a feast, but other than that, I don't know.
Someone sent me live lobsters once. That was weird. That feels like a curse.
Here, have these lobsters.
These lobsters are alive, and they're your problem now.
That is true. That does seem that's a very Maine curse.
It was in Florida. There are no there are Florida lobsters. They don't have pinchers. They were not Florida lobsters. They were Maine lobsters. Someone shipped some very live,
that
very
seems
angry.
like that's a very maniac Maine thing to do.
That's a curse, right?
That is a curse. Here, have these lobsters. You now have to deal with them.
So I guess the moral of my story is if you ever come across headless animals in a cemetery on unconsecrated ground,
run.
Don't put it in someone else's art box because you're gonna curse them with the ghost of a Spanish conquistador.
Unless you don't like them. Mostly it's a thing of it's a lesson of only do this if you really don't like them.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't do this to your friends.
And is this a true story? It was truly told to me. Oh. Does that make it true? I have no idea.
Oh yeah, no. When I lived in Savannah, I heard lots of creepy,
yes,
ghost stories.
Savannah is like St. Augustine's like sister city.
Yeah, Savannah and Charleston and St. Augustine all share some very common spooky
Yeah.
ghost stuff.
And weird shit tends to happen there, and everybody just goes,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, no, in the 5 years that I lived in Savannah, I had a couple run-ins with some very strange things, but a lot of it was mostly, uh, somebody told somebody a story.
Oh, yeah. Like the story I just told.
Yes, or there's this house is haunted. It's part of the ghost tour.
I almost
tell you
got attacked
why.
by a pack of random dogs while walking alone at night in St. Augustine, so there's that.
I also got attacked by a random dog.
I did not
But
get
it was
attacked
only
by the
one.
dogs.
It was only one, and it was in Savannah, and I punched it in the nose.
Yeah, I did not get attacked by the dogs. They just surrounded me and stared at me, just trying to decide if I was easy enough prey to take.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if it...
They walked away.
He just ran up too close and too fast, and I punched him in the nose.
That's one way to it.
Because it was an American Standard Poodle, and it was terrifying. And to be fair, that is my guttural reaction to pretty much anyone approaching me quickly, is that my gut...
It does make this story a lot less creepy when you say it was a poodle.
It was a giant poodle. It was an American Standard Poodle. It was
still a poodle.
It was huge.
At least the dog that was in charge of the dog gang that almost ripped my throat out was white and fluffy and had sticky up ears like a wolf, so probably a werewolf.
Yeah. I bet if you punched it in the nose, it would still do
If I had punched it in the nose, the other dogs that surrounded me, I think, would have tried to rip my throat out, so I was not about to do that.
No, that's how you show your dominance, man.
Then I'm the new boss of the dog gang.
Yes, that was really my goal. That was what I was trying to go for.
And then they all follow me back to my dorm room, and I have to explain that to the RA.
Hey, I now have 12 dogs.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm the boss of a dog gang now.
These 12 weird random dogs now live with me.
Random dogs just follow me around and do my bidding. It's dog law.
It's dog law. I punched that one in the nose.
Having control over dog law?
Yeah.
Do I look like a dog lawyer? Don't answer that, Stephanie. You're a bitch.
Because she's a Shih Tzu.
She'd have said yes. God damn it, Stephanie.
Oh, now my muffin story just doesn't sound nearly as interesting.
Is there any decapitation in your muffin story?
No, there is not.
I should have done last then. You always end on decapitation. No, I want to hear your muffin story.
Oh, it's just a stupid thing. So I had a baking accident or incident.
Is it a spooky baking incident?
Sure. Well, do you want me to make it spooky?
Yeah.
I'll make it spooky. So I was trying out a new recipe in the cafe. I was trying to make some strawberry muffins.
With blood?
No, I wasn't using blood. Well, I mean, unless you mean the blood of strawberries.
Yes.
But, a lesson that I learned very quickly is that do not use frozen strawberries unless you thaw them completely.
Uh-oh.
Because if you use frozen strawberries and you dice them small and then you sprinkle them amidst your muffin batter, you make little pockets of terrifying... It's just gross, honestly.
It's terrifying. What happens?
It's just gross. Honestly, it looks like abortion. I made murder abortion muffins, and and I feel really bad about it.
What happens?
What happens is that when you use frozen strawberries that haven't that haven't thawed completely, and you put them in your muffin batter and you put them in the oven, they thaw in the middle of the batter while you're cooking them. And so
Okay.
when you cut them open, it looks like you have murdered something.
So it doesn't look like strawberry bits. It just looks like
It looks like an abortion. No, that's the only thing. It's terrifying and it's horrible, and I feel really bad about it, and it's gross. I mean, it tasted good, but it did not look pretty.
All right. So, but what you're doing now is you're thinking about this the wrong way.
Am I? Because they
Yes,
were.
because I know you have skull molds.
I do.
So what you do is you do that on purpose in a skull mold.
Yeah, except that the batter, like the muffin, like the texture is just wrong.
Okay.
Everything about, and also frozen strawberries turn the batter pink.
Yes.
Did I mention that? I did not mention that. No, it turns the batter pink, and then you've got these little pockets of melted strawberry. Mushy, like it was just terrible. No, it was terrible and
I for
horrible.
real thought something was going to explode.
No, I wish it would. I did. I was really hoping for. I mean, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't thinking it was gonna be like, oh, this is the most beautiful bread ever, because as I made the batter, it turned pink and terrifying, and I just started calling them murder muffins.
Oh, see, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at these lovely, these murder muffins. Totally gonna be wonderful. And then as they baked, they became more atrocious and terrible. I actually even made a glaze to go on top, but that just made it worse.
Oh my God, they were shiny murder
They were
muffins.
shiny, sweet.
All right, so wait, hold on. I'm still trying to figure out how we monetize this. What if? Hear me out.
Well, so I had a thought,
Mm.
but I wasn't quite sure. Does chocolate and strawberry go together?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
It's
so
one of the
what
classic
if I
sugar
made?
profiles.
Okay, so what if I made chocolate skull muffins? Because I got the skull pans,
Uh-huh.
and then I put the strawberry glaze on the chocolate muffins,
I mean, that would be delicious and probably awesome as shit.
and then I call them murder muffins.
What I was thinking is that you make, all right, well, we'll stay with the chocolate thought,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Chocolate muffins.
Yes.
Fill half the skull muffin tin mold thing. You put a little pocket of frozen strawberries in the middle.
So they make
And
the
you
horrible.
fill the rest of the way up with chocolate, so you have a tiny center.
Oh, like a pocket of so that when
a pocket of death in the middle.
So murder muffins.
And then when you cut them open,
so wait, what should we call them? Wait. Muffins of the Red Death?
Ooh, muffins of the Red Death is good.
Or
alas, poor York.
We knew this muffin well.
This muffin was swell.
Alas, poor muffin.
People make those bleeding heart cakes, you know, where you cut into them and it loses like it's blood. And so it's like that, but instead of being nasty, gross gelatin in the middle, it's
gross. Yeah,
it's
no, I know.
Delicious, gooey strawberry.
Strawberry? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You just lean into the murder muffin.
Yeah. I mean, they did taste good. I will say it tasted good. Also,
you lean in, when life gives you a murder muffin, you lean into it.
It was also vegan, so I was like.
Hey, so there's your angle. Hey, vegans, do you ethically are you ethically opposed to murdering animals and eating their flesh? But there's a little part of your caveman brain that still craves death. Try Emmett's murder muffins.
Wait, no, I'm gonna call them Morrissey muffins.
Hey, Morrissey.
For when it's not Halloween.
Morrissey's Murder Muffins.
Yes.
They
Muffin.
won't. They
Muffin.
shouldn't make him cry. They won't make him cry. I mean, he's still gonna cry about him, but they won't. Girlfriend in a muffin. I know. It's serious.
Muffin is murder.
Muffins are murder. Oh, muffins are murder. Oh, it's right there the whole time. That's also, incidentally, the name of this episode's Muffins are Murder. What is my decapitation story? My decapitation ghost in the face of murder muffins? Nothing.
Oh, murder muffins.
Decapitation ghost doesn't have that alliteration that I crave.
No, murder muffins are just something that happens. Headless ghosts are, they're
headless ghosts are eternal.
They're eternal.
Because they're haunting the St. Augustine graveyard forever. There are no longer apartments across the street from the Catholic cemetery in St. Augustine. Aww. Is it because of the ghosts? Or is it because of the scariest thing of all? Gentrification!
I was totally going to ask that. Oh, and with that, I think we should say adieu. And happy Halloween.
Should we let them know where to find us?
I suppose. You can find us on so many things. On Patreon, on Coffee, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Spotify.
On Spotify now. Spotify, what's up? Aren't you glad this quality content is back?
No, well, I mean, you can find our playlists. You can't find the podcast yet, but I'm working.
Have they still not put us back on Spotify?
I'm working on it.
Spotify, what are you afraid of?
I've been harassing them.
Do I need to send you a dead bird?
Maybe. A headless one.
I mean, that goes without saying. Obviously.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, all birds are headless. With the right effort.
This is quickly spiraling.
When it's Halloween,
all of those
this is a pre-Halloween.
AgonyAuntStudios.com. That you can find us, and if you want to follow Emmett and I individually, she is at Emmett Davenport on Twitter and at Mad Spinstress on Instagram. I'm at Lady Attercop on all the things.
Because she likes consistency.
I like consistency and being able, and I can't remember my name. If I change it, it's impossible. Please help support the show if you're financially able. If you aren't, give us a review on Apple Podcast or Stitcher. Recommend the show to a friend. Send us a headless bird.
No, don't. Please.
I would like to have a word with the conquistadors about their treatment of the Native Americans in Florida. Send me a headless bird. I need to have a chat. Juan, you know what you did. Every brutality that took place in St. Augustine was the fault of one guy.
You're going to also get so many headless birds.
I will take some headless birds. You can look on the website to find out where you can physically mail those headless birds.
Which is my cafe, and I don't want them.
Please send Emmett's Cafe tons of headless birds. She'll make sure I get them.
No.
And then the ghosts of the conquistadors that are irrevocably attached to them will haunt her cafe and not my house.
I already have a ghost in the cafe. I don't need
now you're going to get, now they're going to battle. And that's how you get your own show on A&E. And that's how we get rich and famous.
All right. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
This is how this works.
Haunted baking show? It's like reality show's two favorite things. Baking and hauntings.
I mean, Henry already pulls the towels out constantly.
Emmett, you are not thinking about this financially.
I don't know how to think about things financially, or I wouldn't do a podcast.
It's like the Great British Bake Off, but with ghosts.
Okay.
That's
I don't
marketing.
know how to make enough trifles.
Well, guess what you're gonna learn?
Damn it. I don't know how to... Oh, I don't really want to make all of those weird British baked good things.
Oh, that's when I come in, baby. Guess whose grandma made trifle?
Oh
This
no,
gal.
I can make a trifle.
I can make
just don't wanna
trifle. I
make-
can make shortbread. I can make breadies. I'm trying to figure out how to make
I
a
see.
a
I see.
dumpling.
Wait. Oh, I see. This is about you. Okay.
Oh, I'm going to be the co-host.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine then. As long as there's a
You gotta
co-host.
give up a marketing opportunity like this?
As long as you're gonna be involved, because I'm gonna be over here being like, I'm rolling this dough out. I'm doing this thing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here. She's talking about ghosts.
I need to bone up on my fake psychic skills. All right. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, Agony Aunt Studios, review us, rate us, do all the things. Enjoy your spooky season.
Yes.
Even though the real world is more horrifying
And
than even a Spanish conquistador ghost pressing down on your chest.
And remember that where the music is, if you have missed our music portions, it's at mixcloud.com/that darling DJ duo. That's where we put up our musical playlists because we can't do it here.
Definitely be listening to those. Emmett has been knocking it out of the park with the spooky music.
Yes. We'll see what happens after the spooky music, but spooky music is my thing. It's my jam.
They've been listening to this show. They know how into Halloween we get.
Yes. So, with that, thank you. This has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she is Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Do you suffer from the horrendous ailment of omnitism?
Oh, it hurts everywhere.
So many of us do, having never realized that there is a simple and easy cure. With the introduction of Dr. Phineas T. Norwood's patented omnitism oil, a healing antiseptic liniment, you can be free from crippling omnitism. This amazing new oil can be used both internally and externally, but is best when used in combination. Headache? Phineas can cure that. Gut rot? Phineas can cure that. Bunions? Eye strain? Toothaches? Phineas can cure all of that. Generalized non-specific pain? Phineas can cure that too. Right away on a cloud of happiness, using Dr. Phineas T. Norwood's patented omnitism oil.